lamb madras with coconut rice and garlic naan.
Oh, very cheeky. Did you make it yourself?
No.
Hello and welcome to the Shobocast, a podcast allegedly about Doctor Who.
He said it.
Bonjour.
I'm joined today by Harry.
Oh, I already said hello. Okay.
Say it again, you fuck.
Hello.
By Dan.
Hello?
No, the other one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's not your turn yet.
Oh.
And also Dan.
Hello.
And I'm Cameron.
Is Paul joining us today?
Paul's not with us. Paul's not with us this week. He's in another call about to watch Shrek Forever After, he said.
Oh, that cheeky boy.
Cheeky.
Well, what will he get up to next, eh?
Right. So, how do we do this again?
Well, we say things we remember that happened in the episode for about 40 minutes.
Are we talking
and
about
then I half remember some news stories, and then we wrap it up.
Okay. So,
Which is weird
Blink,
because you write the things down in a list so you don't forget them.
That's true.
Blink is brilliant, but it actually seems...
Oh, we're just going straight into the...
Well, I thought you said we were going into the review.
Well, what are we talking about this
We
week?
are
I know you've already
talking
said the
about
name,
Blink.
but give it a bit of... Pretend we're slightly professional.
This week.
So today we're talking about 2007's Doctor Who story Blink by Stephen
Been
Moffat.
joined by a mixture of David Bradley, Richard Hundle, and William Hartnell again.
The impression is somewhere between those three, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll do William Hartnell.
Yeah, so what were people's thoughts going into the rewatch? Because we've all watched Blink before.
Well, it's a classic, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it always seemed like it was made worse by the hype that it got, because I liked it when I first saw it, and then because it got so much hype, I just found it a bit it's brilliant, but the hype just put me off a bit.
That I actually wrote that when I was watching it because I gave it a rating at the end, and it's I've given it 8 out of 10 because it would be higher if...
Did you just throw a cat? Hang on. Just for the video for the listeners who can't see what I'm seeing now. Cameron was talking. He was discussing his thoughts then, and then just in the little corner of the screen containing Harry, his arm disappeared off screen. He picked up a cat and then just threw it. A cat. He just threw it. It's back. That's the tail. The cat is back. You're gonna throw it again? You fucking monster.
Try for a 20-point shot.
He's fine. He's here.
You threw it with all the casual dismissal of a rolled up piece of paper that you'll throw next to the bin.
He's coming up, and I need to... Look, he's coming back. I need to get him away from that.
Because otherwise he'll start logging into your accounts, won't he? Because
He's got opposable thumbs to be able to type properly.
You don't need opposable thumbs to type.
It's
Using
better.
thingies.
Thumbs are quite good for space barring, though.
I mean, they're useful, but they're not essential.
Let's go back.
That's why I said
That's the
type
basics.
Come on.
Well, I wasn't listening
I
to
know
the second half of your sentence.
Yeah, back onto Blink. It's a really good episode, but I couldn't give it a higher score than I did because over the years it's just been overplayed and people going, oh yeah, this is really good, and it's it's really good, but it's not that good anymore because you keep going on about it. Shut the fuck up, please.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that, I think it's true it's been overhyped.
Yeah.
But I don't, that doesn't, I think I'm able to separate that.
It does take away a bit for me now, but it's still a really good episode to watch, away from the hype.
It takes away from me because while actually watching it, I'm like, fuck me, this is amazing. But then when I think about it outside of watching it, I'm just like, it's just so over, hyped. But then actually watching it, I think it's brilliant, and I don't have none of that impacts on it. It's just like my knowledge of the episode, which is sort of my view of it, rather than my actual enjoyment, which is altered.
What do you think, Dan?
Me?
You?
No one cares what I think.
Yes. Yeah.
We just asked you.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be on the goddamn podcast.
I'm Paul's replacement, not yours.
Yeah, no, I think Blink's really good.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, all right, we've heard that already.
Right, so I'm not talking now.
Come on.
Yeah. So as Harry was saying, then probably something. But I was thinking. I'm sorry, Harry. I'm editing. I was listening to you talk. While in the other ear, I could hear you talk in the video of you that I'm editing. But what you were saying was roughly you were hesitant to revisit it with high hopes because of how no one shuts up about Blink.
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
Yeah.
But also, I think people. The people who specifically say I'd introduce people to Doctor Who with this episode.
Oh,
No, you wouldn't.
yeah. I think I was going to mention that later, but should we drill down on that now?
Yeah, it's not a good idea.
It's not a good intro.
You don't
Because the Doctor's not in
introduce
it.
someone to an episode of a show that doesn't feature the main character for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it's also one of those episodes that's like the rest of the show isn't as good as this, or even like this in structure or form,
Or it doesn't even have as good ideas. So
yeah. This is like one of the
good.
exceptional episodes.
it's like raising false hopes.
Yeah,
What I do like about this episode, though, with you saying the idea, is it's a somewhat original idea that Moffat had that he didn't repeat 4 times whilst he was showrunner.
Well, he's just.
He had Weeping Angel stories, but he didn't have them like this. But he did have a lot of databanks full of people episodes.
Yeah, that's true.
And I forgot about one because I forgot about the Bells of St. John has it in as well.
that's true. What?
Yeah,
So
but
we got
it doesn't count.
we got Darkwater, Death in Heaven. We've got Bells of St. John.
Silence in the Library.
Yeah,
And Twice Upon a Time.
yeah. Is that all of them?
I'm sure there's another.
Yeah.
I think there's another one as well.
Wait, sorry, I've forgotten what the type of story we're describing is.
Human souls in a database of some kind.
That's it. Oh, isn't there some of that in Madame de Pompadour one?
Is there? No, that's a
There's
ship full of
humans
human
as
hearts.
part of the ship, which is a similar sort of thing.
It's similar to...
A similar sort of thing that was also repeated in Deep Breath.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about?
This is great content. This is.
Just 4 people here silently thinking.
Oh, remember the thing? Oh, yeah.
Doctor Who.
But yeah, back to Blink. Really good opening.
Oh my god, it's. I think
For a
up
cold
until that
open,
point,
it is, I think, the best in the series.
it's up there. Yeah, it's one of the most like of the 3 episodes he'd written up until that point. It's the most what we would recognise as Moffat-y, I would say.
Yeah.
I did get a bit of a Sherlock vibe from that opening as well. Like the
Elaborate.
bits that he had in this that I think he then went on to develop a bit more in Sherlock. And then made them shit. Sherlock is really bad when you watch it.
Sherlock has some very good moments.
Sherlock
And it
is
also
savage,
has some
isn't he?
season
It's
4
funny.
moments.
Yes.
This starring
I want
now Oscar nominee Kerry Mulligan.
He was wearing a massive dress yesterday.
Yes. Oh.
Oh, while we're talking about Sally Sparrow, another annoying thing people say is she should have been a companion.
I'd rather if I got a spin-off than be a companion.
No. Well,
don't do
think she
anything
would
with
either. Yeah. It's I will. And I am throwing you under the bus here, Harry. It is just to completely go off
It's great.
something. It is amazing to me how often people say, "Oh, this thing should get a spin-off," and you're like, "You think that character can sustain anything beyond like the few minutes there?" Silent Spire is a pretty bad example here, and I also can't think of an example of the thing I'm talking about. So really, this is nothing at all.
The one from the Easter special, Lady Christina, she's got a Big Finish spin-off.
Yeah.
And
I think I mean
yeah,
more
going
like just
for
generally in the
Oh,
world.
but
And
Jay
it's-
don't like that.
oh, we've lost him.
no.
Oh,
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 And he's
hello.
back.
No, he's back.
yeah. The Pantanoska.
Oh,
I think they can sustain.
Strax and Co. Because Strax is the best one. They can sustain a spin-off.
I think we're
Gang.
losing Dan.
Can someone go and turn Dan off and on again, please? He needs rebooting.
Get him in that data bank.
Yeah.
What else? So it's a really interesting way that they like the Doctor's just kind of in the background and someone goes, huh, and then like doesn't like talk about it. It's a really like interesting way to introduce
so
the
many
main
good
character
ideas.
of the show. Yeah.
There's so many good ideas in it. Like, and it's also one of the few episodes of it's so weird for a time travel show that they barely ever utilize time as like a main feature concept in the show.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
this
time travel has always been more.
pushed to the back of it. It's just been,
Just like a means to an end for a setting.
yeah. But this show uses time travel.
weaponizes
as
it.
part of the plot.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. It's like, and like the idea of the Weeping Angels as well. They're a brilliant monster who are, at least in their first outing in this, actually scary. Like I remember watching
Great
this as a
name as
child
well.
and shitting myself.
Yeah.
It is a brilliant name.
I still get chills when I hear someone mention the Weeping Angel. It's like, oh,
Literally.
that might be because of Crash of the Elysium, though, which we spoke about on here before.
Oh,
How do we feel about what they do with the Weeping Angels after Blink?
I'm
Do you think
a
we should've
massive
left it where
fan.
it was? Because I like the neck snapping stuff. The voice stealing thing's a bit odd. And then whatever it was they were doing in Class and Manhattan, I can't remember.
Classic just appears and it's like it's trying to control Coal Hill because it's got the, like, not the rift, but near enough.
Well, none of that was ever really resolved, was it?
No, because
So
they cancelled
there's-
it. And
Yeah,
the
so there's not
Big
much
Finish
we
stuff we
can
have is set during season 1. So we don't have any resolve for why there was a Weeping Angel running the board of governors
Yeah.
of Coal Hill.
It's a weird when you put it that way, isn't it?
But is this in Class?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
never finished Class because it was too shit.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. Well, I think me and Cameron say that every single time class is brought up. We go, no, I enjoyed it.
I only managed to
someone-
get through the first episode.
Same. And it had those shitty lava creature things in it.
It's a very
Shadow
Marmite
Kind.
show. You either like it or you really
Yeah.
don't.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say I love it. I just say I think it's all right.
I think you said you'd die on that hill, Dan. You definitely said that.
Oh yeah. I actually killed a man because of my opinion on.
I prefer the angels in Crash of the Byzantium
Manhattan.
to Manhattan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Flesh and Stone and Time of Angels is a worthy follow-up to this.
Yeah.
I
And
think
then after that, it's
I think they're both good stories, but I think the Angels would have been more effective the less amount of stories they appeared in.
Yes, but in Angels Take Manhattan, they're made of stone, and it's the Statue of Liberty, which is famously made of copper,
Yeah.
But it's
and also managed to get across Manhattan without being seen.
It's because it is the
It's because Moffat likes to have fun.
Yeah.
and how dare he?
But also, I mean, Angels Take Manhattan is my least favourite of the three. I think they just get worse as they go on, but they're all
They're
good
in time. They're in a Time of the Doctor as well, aren't they?
Yeah, under
Oh, yeah.
some snow.
Very brief. That's the
shouldn't
worst
have been.
appearance
Because
of.
that is why the Doctor Who Lego set has Weeping Angel in, because it's based on Time of the Doctor.
Ah, yeah.
I wonder what the new. Oh wait, because there's filming with Weeping Angels going on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's for Time Fracture, but I think it is for the series as well. So what do we think?
It's going to be the first time Moffat isn't writing them, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be weird. First,
I've seen him in interviews, and he's always said he wanted, he wanted someone else to write them as
Yeah.
well.
It'll
So
be, I wonder what
I'll
they're
be glad
gonna,
to see it.
I wonder how they're going to utilize them. Like, are they going to do it by the neck snapping? Are they going to do it by sending back in time?
I
If they do
imagine
a
they'll go back
similar-
to send him back to time.
Yeah, because I preferred that idea.
There's the new mobile game that came out recently, The Lonely Assassins, which is the Weeping
Yeah.
Angels at Wester Drumlins. And
Yeah.
that, it has neck snapping, not neck snapping, sending back in time, turning people into, like, an angel puppet and stealing their voice.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
it's sort
Also-
of like what they do with Amy, where they get inside her head and then he starts turning into an
can I just interrupt for a sec?
Go ahead.
It's really weird that we're talking about this. Like, we're mentioning Time of Angels and Flesh and Stone, because that story was first broadcast 11 years ago, 2 days ago.
Really?
Like, it's just been the anniversary of it, and we've just brought it up now. How weird is that? That's some of the crazy stuff we get up to here on this show.
Crazy. How does this stuff happen?
One thing that's weird about the story is it doesn't actually resolve the villain.
No,
Like,
It does,
Which is-
doesn't it?
they
They
end
get
up
trapped.
all of them look at each other and they're time locked, but the rest of them, because there was more than 4.
No, there wasn't.
There was.
There
No,
was.
there was only 4 in the story.
It wasn't meant to be just 4 though.
But
It's implied there are
It-
more angels in the world.
well,
But we
Yeah,
just
yeah.
stopped-
yeah, but in terms of the
The
4
ones
that are in
after
this
the
story,
time box, there's just
Yeah.
basically the
Why
clue.
would there only be 4 then? That's
I'm not sure how to answer this question.
weird.
I want to know.
This feels like a trick. Oh, because there's only 4 in it.
One thing I've always wondered, though, they're called the Lonely Assassins because they're normally
Mm-hmm.
there on their own.
Yeah,
And then there's 4 of them.
Why are there 4 of them?
because
That's
they're
not very
lonely.
lovely, is it?
They're lonely.
Why is it? What's this thing about them being like dead Time Lords or something?
Oh, I saw that.
There's a bit in the end of time where he says like the weeping angels of old, and everyone was like,
Yeah. They must be
No,
time
but that's
lords.
because they were made to stand with their hand over their face. And it's like
I
they will
always-
stand testament to their shame, like the weeping angels of old. And it
Yeah, I
how
always
they
saw it as
withstood.
they were imitating angels. Yeah.
But there's also one in the bloody the oh my god, what's it called? The cloisters.
I mean, they're they're a
few hanging
species that
around
live
there,
off
aren't
time
there?
energy. Why
Well,
would you
there's
not try and get
giants,
into the heart of Gallifrey?
True.
Wait. Also, interesting thing. I'm pretty certain that Moffat stole an idea from me.
Oh,
Now, okay, elaborate.
Because
the
Back
Shobocast
when I
does
was
not endorse this
little-
in any legal way.
you know how they had those mini episodes and there was that one with Einstein in.
Allegedly.
What?
Tardisodes.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It was like those mini ones.
The one that was written
episode.
by like a Blue Peter winner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought it was written by a child, wasn't it?
Tardisodes.
It was where they basically they got.
Tardisodes.
Don't I think you have.
I don't know. Is that what they're called?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. Continue your story. Sorry.
Anyway, okay. So basically, I entered that competition and actually came runner-up in it, like my school group. And in that, Weeping Angels had only appeared like once, and we basically, I had the idea of using a mirror to trap an angel, so it's looking at its own reflection. And that hadn't been used in Doctor Who. And then my script got to the stage because it was runner-up where it was actually looked through by Stephen Moffat and the executive producer. And so when they were looking at it, after that competition, like about 1 year was I can't remember what story it was, but there was a Weeping Angels featuring in a story where they had a mirror which trapped the Weeping Angel in its own reflection.
That must be Angels Take Manhattan.
Yeah. Well, in there is a scene with that.
You think that's
Now,
stealing your idea,
well-
though? In the game, they stop the angels by trapping their own reflections on a fucking disco ball.
Now, Harry, I'm gonna defend Moffat here in that when it comes to a creature that can't move unless it's looked at, I would say stopping them with a mirror. Stopping them with a mirror is about the third idea you come up with.
Well, it wasn't used before I had done it, so
True.
that's what I'm saying.
However, I
Moffat
imagine
had
he's
one
already
right.
had that idea. If a child could have come up with that idea, I imagine he already thought of it.
I reckon
he
he
might
looked at it and he was like, "Oh, that's a really clever idea. I think I'm going to steal that, and I'm not going to give him the credit."
That's what happened. That's what I'm saying. happened.
And then like he also like shat in a box and left it on your doorstep and ran away.
Definitely, he didn't know where I lived.
Stephen
that's
knows
the
where
thing, he
everyone
did. And then he ran away back to Paisley.
You should
I don't think he's from
Paisley
Paisley.
boy. You should
Somewhere in Scotland.
check out the is it Nerd Cubed video with him?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's such a good interview.
Do you know how he got that interview?
Is Moffat's
No.
son liked Nerd Cubed?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Why? Do we have any fans who have famous dads? We'll happily interview them.
I mean, I've met Nerd Cubed, so does that count?
I have met Colin Baker,
Same.
Fuck off.
and I've met Sylvester McCoy.
Colin Baker was rude to
We're
me.
talking about
I shook
Nerd
hands
Cubed here.
with
Can we get back on this?
Well, he wasn't rude to me. He was just sassy, and then I was like, boom, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Colin Baker was sassy to you.
Yeah, I had asked how much a photo was, and
How
he
old
was
were
like,
you?
"Can you not read?" and pointed towards a sign, but he turned the sign to face himself to put the card in. I said, "Well, it's facing the wrong way, you fucking idiot." And he went, "Oh, I do apologise." So I was like, "It's all right, Colin."
And then everyone applauded.
He was so
And the whole
sassy.
room clapped.
He was sassy to me as well because I was there with my friend, who was a girl, and then he was just like "Oh, hello, my dear, come have a picture with me." And then he was like, "Who is this? Your toy boy?" About me.
He seems like a very sassy sort of person, but
He's so nice. He chatted with me for like 20 minutes about
He is lovely.
shit.
Was there no one else in the queue?
No, he got there quite early.
Oh,
And
okay.
he'd set up and he had like, I remember he was wearing this Cyberman patterned shirt and he just started chatting about random shit like the weather and then his coats that he had to wear and complained about his costume a lot. I thought, yeah, you would.
Yep.
Nice
Well,
man.
Yeah.
What's weird is that the previous time I'd like had an interaction with him was probably 5 years before when I was walking through the XL at that convention and I was lining up for the toilets and he pushed past with like a few other doctors and his belly like smacked me. So
That's brilliant.
sometimes.
Good times. So Blink.
Blink, yeah.
Is
Just me.
for
Girl
Go.
investigators, like, it's near the start, but girl investigators doesn't sound like something anyone would call themselves.
Well, funny you should mention that, Cameron. Our podcast is now called Girls. We're going to investigate girls. Actually, that would make sense because isn't there a part of the episode, of like an old episode we did, where I ask like, "What is a woman?"
Yes, that is.
that rings a bell. That's the
Yeah,
kind of
there's
thing
a
you would
moment
ask,
where
of
I'm like,
course.
"What's a woman?"
As a disgusting, weird disgusting version you are.
Yes.
Yeah,
We all know that.
fat
it is-
as well, just enormous.
Covered in just piss. You're covered in piss and you smell of
What?
old cabbages.
Vinegar.
Yeah, vinegar.
Levine won't go near me.
I don't know why I'm friends with you, I'll be honest.
Well,
I mean,
That's
we're
what-
just acquaintances.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
I have a Blink thing.
Yes, please try and get us back on topic, please. Please.
Blink is probably
An episode of Doctor Who?
Shut
It's
up.
a game show hosted by Terry Wogan called Blinkety Blink.
Okay. Blink is the best.
that creeping angel.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Let the man speak.
Blink is the best. I can't do it.
Okay, whilst you
broke-
compose yourself,
We did it. We
is
broke
the
it.
grandson at the start doesn't hang about a bit, does he? It's just like, here's a letter. She looks, turns away, and then he
Is that
basically
from
runs
Back to
away.
the Future, that kind of...
Well, to be fair to him, he did say, "Hey, my grandma just died." Well, my dead grandma gave it to you, and then she laughed and ran away. So
She died 20 years before he gave her the letter.
she what?
She died 20 years before he gave her the letter.
I realised that as I was saying it, and I hope no one noticed.
But okay, here's what I was saying. It's the the flirtation scene. But is it Billy?
Yeah, Billy Shipton.
Billy and Sally is the best short build-up of a flirtation that I've ever seen on TV because you actually believe they have real chemistry, even though they've only talked for a minute. Like you're like,
He's so smooth, isn't he?
yeah, and he's so sweet as well, and you just believe that they could work really well together, and then he gets got.
This episode does a really good thing of making us care about characters we've only just met and we never meet again, like Sally, Lawrence, Billy Shipton,
Catherine.
Kathy as well, yeah.
The Doctor. He's only in this episode, isn't he?
Oh, I'll tell you what, Martha's fucking annoying at the end.
Doctor Who's only the character of Stephen Moffat. He doesn't turn up again, does he?
At the end, when the Doctor's like talking to Sally, and then Martha keeps being like, "Doctor, we gotta go. Quick, we've only got 20 minutes till spawning."
To be fair, I think she's got a pretty good.
Yeah.
She's got a good reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's annoying. It detracts from the scene.
I think it's like a good counter because normally it's the Doctor going, "No, come on, we've got to go do this," and then he's stopping to talk to someone, and Martha's just like, "Really? I can't talk to Shakespeare, but you can talk to this random woman."
The bullshit. There was bullshit in the story because they were like, "We saw the moon landing 4 times," but they wouldn't be able to do that because that would be going back on their own time stream.
Yeah,
Well, not if you just stand over there.
Yeah, but they'd still see themselves.
Well, they'd see themselves. It's not like a bad thing. Like that's just like oh look, we came back later.
You say that's not a bad thing, but then look at Father's Day.
Yeah.
No, that was only an issue because they interfered with it.
Yeah, but
They changed something from their own past. It wasn't the fact that they were there that was the issue.
No.
The Doctor crossing his time stream, going to multiple events more than once, is always hazy because when it's for fun, yay. When it's to try and find the Master quickly, though, no. Got to do that the long way.
Bad times.
I can't remember what episode you're talking about there.
End of time. Wilf asks him, "Oh, why don't you just travel back in time to where you knew where he was?" And it's like, "Oh no, I can't do that."
The difference there is that like he'd already been taken. So to go back in time in his own past and then change, he would be changing something by apprehending him. Then we're talking about Blink, aren't we? For it's
just a great story.
Yeah,
I think
it's
they
quite
missed a
time.
joke
Go
at
ahead.
one point. So the Doctor and Martha get taken back to 1967. I think they should have taken them back to 1963 and made a joke about how bad TV is.
I think they should have taken them back to 1969 because that's a funny number.
Sex number.
They could have had Patrick
what?
Troughton. They could have had Patrick Troughton just in the background, like running, going, "Oh, oh," like in The Invasion.
Yeah, no, I think they should have taken them to 63 to make a joke about how bad TV is, but hindsight is brilliant.
The what?
Never met him.
Hindsight.
So it's very timeless, mostly. However, it's remarkable how much of it revolves around DVDs. It's very 2007 for what. Is
What do you mean? I have DVDs.
I know you do, but when was the last time you had a portable DVD player?
I do have a portable
I've
DVD
never had a portable DVD player.
I remember.
I have a portable DVD player.
When was the last time you used it?
When I last had it, so 3 months ago. But I would have used it since, if I had it since.
Surely any DVD player is portable if you try hard enough.
The portable DVD players to me are very, very 2007. That brings me back to like very specific moments, and they never fucking worked.
Mine worked.
They never fucking worked.
That's the bullshit. I'm
Can you
sorry.
stop swearing, Dan?
Oh, so actually, you can't actually censor me, Dan. So actually, I'll say whatever I want. Willies poo. You can't stop me saying those
Willies.
words.
I like Willies.
Now that's just blue. That's just
Cold
blue,
open.
Harry.
So, one
That's
thing
the
I
antique
noticed as
part.
well in this rewatch is they solve all of this and organise it all in a day.
Is it?
Yeah, it's all the same day.
No, it isn't. Is
So,
it?
she goes to the house, we then get the credits, and
No,
she
because the end is like
the
later.
end is the
But
fast forward
that's
bit.
the epilogue. That's an epilogue.
But the main bulk of the episode is all the same day.
No, it's
Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually because in the morning it starts. Oh no, it's not because. Oh yeah, it is because it starts at 4 in the morning, isn't
4
it?
in the morning, then at the house, and then the police station.
DVD player, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
where's going with this?
I mean, it could be on different days, but
But then they're wearing the same clothes.
Oh yeah. Okay, same
Yeah.
day.
Same day.
Holy shit! I just realised that.
Yeah. Well, it's better than in 42 where they portray 42 minutes in a 50-minute show or in a 45-minute show.
Yes,
Got
but they
'em.
have that brief bit at the start and the end. So the bit that's 42 minutes is 42 minutes, which is really good. And this episode has the phrase.
I do have that
Wobbly
written
wobbly.
down as well.
Wimey.
God
You know-
damn it!
You know,
Fucking Tumblr.
The phrase that launched 1,000 memes, as I wrote.
here's a.
Wrong though.
Go on, Dan.
So I logged into my old Facebook account the other day
Oh no!
just to have a look at how far I've come as a human being, and
Not very.
one of the things on there was the first cover photo I had, which was a picture of David Tennant, and it says Facebook assumes that time is a line, but actually, from a non-linear, non-subjective viewpoint, it's more like a big ball of wibbly wobbly time.
Oh, Dan. Oh,
And I just thought,
oh, Dan.
That is
Yeah.
brilliant.
I do really.
I wanted to like disassociate myself with myself.
I really like that scene though, where they're talking to the doctor through the DVD, because it's got some quite good humour bits in there,
Yeah.
and then it becomes really tense towards the end. So there's the bits of, oh, you can do shorthand, and it's like, get your priorities right, woman. And then the
Woman.
angels have the phone box. I've got that on a T-shirt.
That's such a good.
Yeah.
There is so many good lines in that.
I do
And the
have an angels have the phone box T-shirt.
and the
I have till
still
the
haven't
rain
looked-
stops. It's a very nice line.
Yes.
I have till the rain stops.
God damn it, that fucking scene.
Yeah, I know. It's just it's so moving. Like that's so.
I had a little cry. I had a little cry.
Yeah, it's so moving.
Which
Oh.
bit?
Have until the rain stops, but
The
Oh,
Billy
yeah,
Shipton. Yeah.
Canal.
A fucking scene.
Stop swearing.
Oh, piss bums.
Dan, were you saying this felt very 2007 at some points?
Yeah.
When they refer to it as the net, I know people still do that now, but that always seems very mid-2000s to me.
And,
Yeah,
and,
that is
and also the like idea of like, are you talking people on the internet? What?
Who would
Yeah.
Like,
do
that's
such
a
a
And the
thing?
bit where she's like, I've got to go and update my MySpace profile.
And then they look into the camera and say Napster at the same time.
Napster.
Was Napster 2007? I
don't know. It's just
We're
an old
outing,
thing.
we're outing ourselves as people who were younger than 10 at that time.
I was 6.
I was 7.
I was 7 or 8, depending on when this came out. I can't remember.
Also, you know what bit I liked about this story is when Skongo appeared in the prehistory scenes.
I'm sorry, I cannot tell what you're saying.
You're sort of eating and putting things in your mouth.
I like the point where Skongo appeared, and he started following what's her name, Catherine.
Oh, the Hull man from Hull.
Skongo.
What is Skongo?
What?
What you keep saying Skongo?
That's his name.
Is it? I thought it was Ben.
No, it's Skongo.
It's Skongo. It's a reference to a classic Doctor Who.
He appears in like.
You wouldn't have seen it, man. I know
Hang on, can I just check? Wait, so the man reading the newspaper on a wall in Hull is called Skongo.
Well, in the script, it's like a little.
But you see his name, don't you?
It's a reference because Skongo
to like part of the history of Doctor Who, that being Skongo, who, if you don't know, appeared in a lot of the 60s stuff.
Like the bongos of Skongo.
Oh, and the Wibbler.
Yeah, and the Wibbler.
Okay, you're fucking with me.
I saw him put the pillow over his face, just like laughed. I thought I've got to say something.
Although, with people appearing,
I hate you.
Banto, who owns the DVD bookshop, whatever it is.
Yanto?
Banto.
Yanto?
No, it's Skongo. You pronounce it Skongo.
Fuck off. I started Googling that. I believed you.
Wait, actually do Google Skongo though, because
I don't want to. It'll come with rude stuff.
he's in Doctor Who lore.
I don't believe you.
Just do it in incognito to be safe, but yeah, the guy who owns the bookshop at the start is played by a actor called Ian Boldsworth.
He's played by an actor, isn't he?
Yeah, it's Ian Boldsworth, who used to go by the name Ray Peacock, who my mum went to college with.
I know that name.
Ray Peacock used to do a podcast with Ed Gamble.
That might be why I know it.
On Richard Herring's quite a lot as well.
Yes.
A very lovely, charming bloke. Massive nerd. He used to do the warm-up for Red Dwarf and not going out when he was a comedian.
Yeah, I must have heard him just mentioned it something. Yeah. It is quite funny to me how so at the start the shop is a DVD shop.
Is that funny?
Well, when Larry's like, he's on his own and he's a nerd on the internet. What? And then when they have the shop later and it's both of them, it's become more respectable because it's selling books.
Oh yeah, the Parapod.
What? Stop! You're saying nonsense things now.
That's what Ian Boldsworth does now.
Parapod is great.
Oh right, okay. You were talking about something.
Sorry, Dan's just gone off on one. He's got this big boy status thing, testosterone thing going on now, where he's swearing all the time. He's just trying to be alpha male on the podcast. We all know the true alpha male is, in fact,
big stinky. No, you've never even seen a.
You want to know something even better about the bookshop, DVD bookshop? In the game, which follows on from this episode, it becomes a cafe as well.
Ugh.
Oh, they have. It's like Waterstones.
Ugh.
It becomes a cafe with a bookshop in it, as opposed to...
Ugh.
It just keeps getting more and more.
Fucking worst. That's not true. I quite like it.
Cafe stuff to book stuff.
Yeah, I do. Also, in the final scene when Larry goes out to buy milk, he gets skimmed milk because
I noticed that because he's a
fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
Maybe it's all they had.
I don't. If all they had was skimmed milk, I wouldn't.
I just wouldn't have milk. I would just have. Like,
I'd buy almond milk or oat milk before.
Yeah, one of those. Like, who gets red milk? That I literally commented on that when
people with no fucking tongues.
Red milk is semi-skimmed.
No, green is semi-skimmed.
That is blasphemous. Green is semi-skimmed.
Blue's full fat. Yeah.
Green
Red is skimmed. Green is halfway
listeners
between.
are very
Yeah,
good.
red is no fat.
We're just talking over each other, saying exactly the same thing.
Yeah, you green for cardboard, blue for bottles. You got your brown for your garden waste.
Yeah,
And some of us had or have a black bin in the kitchen, a little black one, which you then end up just putting in the brown one outside. So might as well
That's
just put-
compost.
What's that, food waste?
yeah, the little brown shit that's.
No, we have by our bins.
They just throw
by
it out
our
the
building.
window.
Yeah, the bins outside our building have like a separate food waste thing.
Ooh la la.
Very posh.
Yeah,
Right,
we've got
yeah.
green is recycling, purple is bottles, and grey is food waste.
That's
Are we-
Welcome to Scotland.
Shall
Scotland.
we round up Blink?
What? So what?
Shall we round
so-
up Blink?
Is the thing as well, is you
well, I
can't
forgot some
destroy
more
a
stuff to say then.
stone, yet you can because you just like bash it.
Smash
into
it off into loads of little pieces.
Yeah, just stick a bit of.
It's just a
explosive
ball
on
that
the
chases you
angel's
around.
face. You can
Just
destroy
a
stone
pebble.
quite easily, Doctor. I don't know what you're on about there.
If there's just a little bit of stone on the floor that moves every time you blink towards you,
Just a
Put it
dust
in a
cloud.
box.
it's just like a little rock that just crawls across the floor. So yeah.
I don't know. I always interpreted that as more like because the stone's not alive, you can't kill it. Less of a but you could break it up or whatever.
Because
It's
you
like-
don't say they're not even alive when you're looking at them.
Yeah,
Then
like if they're not alive, they can't be killed.
they are just stone. But when
All right,
you're not,
close your eyes and go to town on it with a bat.
Okay, but they would get you first.
yeah, because you can't see them, but they can see you.
Not if you go out swinging. Cover a weeping angel's eyes. Does it think it's not being looked at?
Wait, sorry, I didn't hear that.
So you get a blindfold, you put it over a weeping angel's eyes. How does it know when you're not looking?
It's something
Well,
to do with
it's,
that actual physical like,
Biology, yeah.
thing.
Fair enough.
Although they completely retcon that in the second appearance,
Well-
'cause Amy pretends to.
Well, no,
No.
I hated that at the time, and I did agree with you. But when I watched it again recently, it kind of makes a lot more sense in the context. Because the context is they're completely distracted by the crack. They're going after that.
Oh yeah.
So like them like freezing isn't we've been seen. It's I think we've been seen. We should probably freeze at this point.
Like the
Yeah.
toys from Toy Story.
Yeah, it's written off of like a
Toy Story
everything.
1 is the best Toy Story.
Toy Story 2 is the best Toy Story.
Toy Story 2 is the
Story
boring.
3.
Toy Story 3 is pretty good.
Toy Story
Ending. I
is.
cried like a baby.
Toy Story
The
2
Doctor
is
doesn't
terrible.
turn up.
Toy Story 1 is the only one worth watching.
The Doctor doesn't turn up fully in this episode until 23 minutes in.
Yeah.
Oh, 23. That's the number that appears in every movie. It's the best number.
Hang on. What?
In literally every movie that I've watched.
I don't
23
believe
appears in it.
this.
Yeah, if you go
I don't think
23 seconds into every film and press pause, it takes 23. Got him. Dan, your beard looks good today.
Oh, thank you.
You looking after it?
I got rid of
smiling, but then realised.
Harry, I'm complimenting Dan.
No, it's because Cam looked up because he looked like
I
he
heard
was.
beard and just looked up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have. Yeah.
You like my beard?
No.
Because there's
Very
nothing
good
there.
hair.
Got a bit of a stash on you.
Yeah, a little one.
This episode was watched
No.
by 6.62 million people.
Is that a lot at the time?
Yeah.
What?
The time.
And it is the third episode of the revival series to be based on a pre-existing work by the author.
Yes,
So we
the
have-
annual from 2006.
Family
The
of
what?
Blood
Oh.
and Dalek as well before this.
Wait, hang on. What was this based on?
Wait, so Stephen Moffat had already
Short story called "What I Did on My Summer Holidays" or something like that by Sally Sparrow.
Yeah, what I
and
did
it's
on my holidays by Sally Sparrow.
from the 2006 annual by Jing, and it's basically she's like watching family tapes and stuff, like family movies, and
Yeah.
the Ninth Doctor keeps cropping up because he's lost his time machine and he needs her to go find it to get it back to him.
Huh.
That's quite interesting.
I need to check that
I don't
out.
know. I wonder what or how it went down if it was Russell saying, "I enjoyed that. Please write it for TV," or Stephen saying,
Yeah.
And
"That
put
was
some,
good. I
put
want to write it."
some women painted
he
the
was-
statues in it.
Yeah.
He was meant to write the two-parter for this series, but couldn't. So went, all right, I'll write the Dr. Light one. It takes up less time and stuff. So
Well, he did a very good job.
Yeah.
But also, Moffat and Russell are literally the best combination of like things, because like everything that Moffat did under Russell was some of his best work. Like Girl
Yeah.
in the Fireplace.
Yeah, because he was limited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He didn't have
He
to
just
run
go
a
on
series at the same
rerun.
time as well.
It's because he wasn't given full reign, and when he's given full reign, he just gets lost in his own convoluted plots.
Power, absolute power corrupt.
Yeah. Absolute power mad conspirators.
On that note, I would have loved to see a Russell T Davies episode written in the Moffat era.
yeah,
I would have loved for Russell to write a one-off.
I think
I
Russell.
think he will one day. I think he'll come back for.
I think
It's a
Russell-
shame neither of them have come back and done something
Yeah. I
without
think
the.
Russell being, well, Russell being edited by Moffat would be worse than Moffat being edited by Russell. Because Moffat is good at writing but doesn't really know how to edit. Russell can do both, but Moffat's ideas are just incredible.
I don't know. I've seen. I'm only basing this on the edits I've seen of the Doctor's Wife that Moffat suggested, and they seem to be really. They seem to work. They're half a
I don't know how it works, so I'm not going to say anything.
Well, from what I'm aware, essentially, I don't know how this works in the Chibnall era, but in Russell's era and Stephen's era, they both essentially ghostwrite the final draft of every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, so every episode would go through them and they'd like tighten it up and change it a little bit.
I believe that because Nightmare in Silver is so shit, even though Neil Gaiman is supposed to have written it.
Well, that's the difference there is that it was meant to be a two-parter and then was reduced to a.
and was meant to be in like
Even then, it's just not that great. And Giannotti.
America or
bollocks.
something, an abandoned
The what?
amusement.
You what?
Nightmare in Silver. It was meant to be like an abandoned amusement park in America in the past,
Not in the moon.
and
That
not
would have
on
been
a
better.
space planet in the future.
That would have been better, except Angianati is still. So much.
Yeah, it's why there's like a consistent tone in like both their eras, even when it's Chibnall writing an episode.
I mean, Chibnall's era does have a somewhat consistent tone going through, but that's because he's written all of the books.
Oh, well, and it's also because it's a writer's room as well. It's not
Yeah.
not really an individual
It's
thing.
a shit writer's room.
Yeah, it's Anyway, we're not here to talk about that.
Back to the trivia bit
We
because
always
I've got-
end up in Chibnall.
this is the first episode since Mark of the Rani to be directed by a woman, and it was
Oh.
Hetty MacDonald. I couldn't find the
I
name.
always thought it was Euros Lynn.
No, he
That's
did a
one
lot
of-
in this era, but it's not.
That is one of. It's so beautifully directed as well. That's why, because every shot looks like a piece of art. That is one of the
I
things I
quite
also.
liked the shots at the end of the scene talking on the DVD because it keeps Sally in the shot even though she's in a different place by like having a reflection in a mirror and stuff, and I think it's brilliant.
Yeah,
Also, all the at the beginning, like all the scenes in the house are so like the shots in the mirror of Sally, the shots of the angels creeping up, all the light reflecting through, and like sort of the rain running down the windows reflecting on Billy
Yeah.
as he's dying. It all just looks really beautiful. It's very well done.
Speaking of Billy, Michael.
Yes.
Oh, I can't read my own fucking writing. The guy who played young Billy
Yeah.
had to redub his lines because he did it in his natural East London accent. And then when they had got the actor in who played the old version, they did it in his natural accent. And so they had him come in and redub his lines so they both sounded the same.
that's why it sounds so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was him. I thought it was really good. Yeah.
I thought it was good. It was just like, it's weird they've had to redo all of this.
Yeah,
There's probably a reason or something.
I didn't think that they'd redubbed it.
yeah, they had him. He did it in his natural London accent, but then when Lewis Mahoney, whose name I can read in my handwriting, did it in a Gambian accent, they had this younger guy redub his lines.
He's so the younger him when he's like, and when she says his second name Sally, what's it?
Sally Shipton, yeah.
Yeah, Sally, and then it's just like, oh.
And these two actors had appeared in a show around this time as well, playing father and son. But and I think that led them for the casting of this, because it was going to be the young guy just in makeup and prosthesis.
Yeah.
But they decided against it because this episode had no money.
Yeah, and they wouldn't have looked very good either.
Yeah, that was also a reason.
It costs more to cast a second actor than it does to do some makeup.
Yeah, it depends. If it's wanting to look realistic, it will cost you a bit than getting an actor in for a day. Because if he's having to be paid for his time in the chair as well,
That's like $5,000.
the line about the
It's at least £12.
The line about the TARDIS windows being the wrong size was a joke and nod to Outpost Gallifrey, where people, when the revival came around, were complaining the TARDIS was the wrong size.
Yeah.
So
People had a lot of issues with that prop when they first saw it.
To be fair, it's not my favourite TARDIS prop.
But it's broken, so
it's
does it
not.
matter?
It's not a prop.
Its circuit is broken, so of course it's going to look weird.
It just looks bad.
TV movie is the best box.
Oh, it is beautiful, but it's not the best.
It's the nicest outside, but not the nicest inside. I hate that.
Honestly, I think the current is the nicest outside.
The current is a very
I'll agree with
nice
that.
colour, but the best outside is the Troughton Pertwee one. In my opinion.
Carey Mulligan was offered to stay on as a companion, but she turned it down. So we could have had Sally Sparrow as a companion.
That'd be cool.
I don't know when she would have come on. I don't know if she would have been series 4 or...
That would have just been unfair on Martha, though, because I bet you Russell would have written better for her than he did for Martha.
Yeah.
Because he was just a twat.
And honestly, it's probably good that she didn't stay on, because now she's nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
An
This
Oscar
episode
nomination
had
didn't
one
win.
script meeting beforehand because of how tight and stuff they were running it.
They only had one. Mad.
Yeah. And a scene was cut from the epilogue that would have revealed Larry would keep going back to Wester Drumlins to check on the Angels, which is alluded to in the mobile game.
Time fracture or whatever.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, and the Doctor and Martha aren't in this one as much because they were away to concentrate on the filming of Utopia and Last of the Time Lords and Sound of Drums.
Last of the Time Lord Sound of Drums is one of my least favourite and least in the Doctor series. I like Utopia, but the other two, meh.
I got stuff to say about it, but that's for another day.
When we talk about those episodes,
Yeah, for when we talk about those episodes. No.
we have a plan for next week.
Do we?
Yes.
We'll get on to that.
Yeah, we'll get on to that after the news.
Oh, is it news time?
Yeah. It is
Guess
news o'clock.
what?
What time is it? News
There's-
o'clock. Now shut up and do the news. With
Ding,
the
ding,
news
ding,
feed.
ding, ding. Guess. Oh, news thing.
There we go.
That was the news thing. Guess what? There's not a lot. However, coming at the end of this, end of 2021, there will be a Doctor Who graphic novel starring Captain Jack Harkness, which ties into episode 2 of series 13.
Ooh.
This is...
That's going to be either really good or a massive letdown now they've said that.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by this, and also fascinated by the. I'm going to read the press release. because there's some interesting stuff in there. A thrilling new Doctor Who graphic novel which stars fan favourite Captain Jack Harkness as he goes up against the insidious Torchwood Institute! ! In the midst of kicking alien butt and looking good doing it with his cock out on set. He didn't say that in there.
Is it? All right.
Captain Jack Harkness is suddenly transported through a time window to the 19th century Cardiff. Again.
That's going to be like the fourth Jack in 19th century Cardiff now.
Realising there's
Is he going to
more
find
than
another gay soldier to get with?
realising there's more than one thing afoot, he sets out to uncover what the Victorian era Torchwood Institute team are up to behind closed doors, helping solve the mystery of why time windows are cropping up everywhere. What he finds is very unexpected and will certainly leave him needing a hand from some old friends. Bursting straight out of the long-running hit television series, this Burning Tales turns Hollywood to series 13. Buy it. So yeah.
So he has to work out what the Victorian Torchwood are doing behind closed doors, yet he worked for Torchwood in the Victorian age.
Yeah, literally. There's literally scenes with him with them.
Yeah.
But, well, yes, that's... yeah, it is interesting.
So he
But
has to
also
find out what he is doing.
Yes, that makes me think, especially the needing help, needing a hand from some old friends.
It's going to be him.
It's himself. Oh, it might be. Yeah.
That would be cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
I had assumed it was like the Doctor and he has, but yeah, it's going to be himself, isn't it?
In similar news, haven't we seen that picture of Barrowman in a chair?
Yes, he was getting
Yes,
his hair
the
done
time
by the
fracture.
BBC.
Which is presumably something to do with this, I would say.
This or time fracture.
I think it's time fracture because
Or
there's the thing of him with the first Doctor, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, it might be both, I think.
Yeah.
with the new
'Cause he-
series and Bradley
he must-
coming back.
He must be in episode 2 then, if this ties in directly to it.
If Bradley's coming back, it might be Twice Upon a Time Part 2
No,
with Jodie Whittaker instead.
no.
Nah, I'm alright, thanks.
No,
Will they have an actual plot this time?
Twice upon a second time.
Twice Upon 2 times.
Thrice upon twice.
Thrice upon one time.
Twice Upon 2.
Two times upon twice a time.
2 times twice.
2 times twice upon a time.
Twice.
Thrice.
2 times upon.
My dick.
Oh.
Yeah, so what do you think this means for the second episode for series 1302?
Captain Jack in.
Well,
Pro-
this is
presumably.
going back to the Victorian era,
Yeah.
and we have seen them in like a somewhat Victorian outfit on their filming.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think
So-
they're bringing back Torchwood?
They must be. They must be.
I
I don't know as a... But
I
like,
think they
just
might do a
canonically
special.
in...
They
Maybe.
should bring it back. And I mean, it would be okay if it was like set in a different time of Torchwood, like Victorian Torchwood or future Torchwood. But I would just love if Eve Miles came back as well.
Yeah. She might not at the moment though. She is pregnant,
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
so it's up to her. But
What's her baby
I would like to see Torchwood back because it does end abruptly at the end of
Yeah.
Miracle Day.
Oh, Miracle Day is so underrated.
It doesn't really sort out what it's doing until the end. Like you've got pharmaceutical companies and then a god, and
I like
Oswald
that sort
Danes
of
tries to
thing.
become
I'm
a
not
good
really
guy.
sure what's going on
yeah,
because it could be anything. I think it's so underrated.
Yeah, it
Anyway,
is
this
good,
is that link.
other news, Dan.
There isn't any. Well, I was going to mention the time fracture stuff, but other than that,
There's the casting.
there's the casting.
They released the cast for Time Fracture and who's in it.
Yeah, that's what I said. Time fracture.
Yeah,
I
because
think we already mentioned that, didn't we?
no, we said there were photos of John Barrowman and a First Doctor.
There's some other news.
Is there?
Big Finish have got a Guinness World Record for the longest running sci-fi audio series.
How many of them are there?
I don't know, but it's been for 275 consecutive months.
Ooh.
Months. That's an odd way to
Well,
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the
how
monthly
they-
series, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the monthly range.
I know, but it seems like an odd way to measure it. How many other audio sci-fi series are there?
The other ones from Big Finish.
The Archers in space.
The Archers in Space.
Yeah.
And then there's the other news as well that Minifigs Me have remade their modern Doctors, 10, 11, 12, and 13.
Who's remade what?
Minifigs Me, the Lego.
Oh, the Lego thing.
That's very important news.
Who don't include the right hairpiece for Colin Baker.
No, but that is. Yeah, not much news. I preferred it when we had loads of news.
Yeah.
It's sort of dried up. Like nothing's coming out about the new figures. Nothing about the next collection box set. Like nothing about the series really.
Yeah.
It's gone into.
I'm looking at this the casting for Time Fracture. It does just seem to be a list of people.
It is mostly.
It's just a list of like 30 names, and it's like
that is what the press release was, because I've seen the official press release, because the website I linked to is my mum's theatre website.
Right then.
If she's on their press release list, it could be a good thing.
I think we should go to it, and everyone else keeps saying we shouldn't.
If I can get a free ticket for it, I'm fucking going.
We should do it.
Do what?
I'll go to Time Fracture when it opens.
Yeah, let's do it. Damn straight.
All of us who live in like the north of England go to London for it.
Yeah.
I did that for
My mum's in
Taskmaster.
London, so I'll go visit her.
Well, I think we should do it. And that'll be
Dan, that's when we could do Shobocast on the road.
exactly. Where can they get in contact with us?
They can get
all
in
three people who listen.
With us at the Shobocast on Twitter and Instagram. I don't think we do the Instagram anymore that much, because I don't run it.
I think Paul just uses it to promote his. I said this last week. Carry on,
Own
Doug.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. He sort of does that with the Twitter as well.
Yeah.
So until then,
Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Thank you.
Fuck off.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye bye now.
Bye.